Today, I am going to talk about the number one complaint when it comes to the modern day dating realm. This is particularly from women going towards men. So if you're a man and you're watching this video, pay close attention. If you're a woman, you might find yourself agreeing with this. You see, not too long ago, the cultural tides started changing. Women were granted more equality. They were granted more economic equality, for that matter. They were granted more freedoms. That's a wonderful thing, by the way. There were unfortunately some unintended misperceptions that came with that. A lot of men thought, well, hey, women are taking charge these days. I guess I don't have to do the work anymore. A lot of men are also role confused. They don't know their place in this world anymore now that leadership isn't needed. Women can do everything themselves. They don't know their role anymore now that, physically speaking, they don't need to provide the warrior or the protector elements. What value are they, and what are they supposed to be doing these days? Many men are simply having some existential crisis in some form, particularly when it comes to relationships, because they don't know their role. They don't know where they fit in or what they should or shouldn't be doing. A lot of them are also very well-meaning in that they're trying to give women the ability to decide, the ability to have their freedom, have consent and control over their lives. That's wonderful. But again, accidental byproduct is that, well, they're not making decisions anymore themselves. And as it turns out, a lot of women really miss that. They miss being led out on a date. These days, it's very common for when a man and a woman meet and they agree to go out on a date, the man kind of just says, well, what do you want to do? You know what, we'll do whatever you want to do. I don't have a lot of ideas. That's not what you want, men. Okay, you want to go ahead and plan a date, not only plan a date, but deliver her an experience, if not an adventure. Okay, you see, it doesn't have to be a long date or a complex date. But it should be one where you put thought into it, where you wanted to show her something, where you were happy to schedule it so that way she has the relief of the burden. I encourage all men, when you are setting up a date, research your options. Find out what some of your favorite restaurants are. Find out what some of your favorite coffee shops are. Have some fun ideas, maybe in your back pocket as options to offer to her. That way it looks like not only did you do the work of planning the date, but you really want to be there. You're trying to give and provide her with something. You need to have ownership over the dating experience as well as your own life. As a man, you need to ask yourself, are you the type of person who makes decisions for your own life? Are you the type of man who influences your own outcomes? I hope you are, because you will be a lot happier and you will have a much more fulfilling dating and relationship life if you are. On the other hand, if you're the type of man who's passive and you externalize things, waiting for the universe to conduct its business, just letting things happen to you, you're not only going to have a worse off dating life, you're probably going to feel pretty depressed, like you just lack control or ownership, like you do not have a say in where life is heading. You're just barreling down the track like a runaway train. So for all of you men out there, I want you to take a little ownership. I want you to plan your dates. I want you to research your venues. I want you to be proactive into scheduling the date. Make sure you ask her for her dietary restrictions. Make sure you ask her for her location. That way you know what's going to be convenient for her or not. Okay, this is all about taking ownership, planning these logistics, being thoughtful, really. You're not just going to blindly pick a spot on the map. I mean, what if that's a 2-hour commute for her? Okay, how senseless. Not only is she not going to go on the date, but you lost a lot of character points there because you didn't assess for these things. Really try to serve her that experience. Show her a great time. Now, for those of you who are familiar with partner dancing of any type, you probably know there's a lead and a follow. It's not 2 follows, and it's not 2 leads. It's a lead and a follow, and there is a reason for that, because it makes the dance work. That's right, one person leads the move, usually the male, traditionally anyway, and then the lady gets to be the follow. And this is really exciting for women because they get to react. They don't know what's coming at them and they get to respond and read and dance accordingly. It's thrilling. There's dopamine release. There's anticipation. It's a wonderful thing. You see, when you have taken the lead and planned the date and had total ownership over the experience, she now gets to sit back and treat it as if it were a vacation. Why? Because she didn't have to do any of the planning. She didn't have the burden of thinking. And what happens if she's enjoying herself and she feels like she's on a mini vacation? She's more relaxed. She's having a better time with you. There's a lot of these brush off and association effects that you get to pick up on, simply because you were the one who led her and she got to feel good knowing that. She'll also be in a more effeminate place, a more playful spot, a more flirty spot. That's what it is to receive. So let's make a new rule for all of you men who are planning and setting up dates. From now on, you're always going to ask dietary restrictions. You're always going to ask for geographical location if it's a new connection. You're going to go ahead and get to the point and schedule the dates sooner rather than later, because the other part of this is that women really hate having to do a bunch of back and forth on dating apps or texting. They really hate the chit chat buddy. They hate being asked pointless questions such as, how are you today? Without a date being scheduled there in the pipeline. Okay, she wants to get to the point. Typically, if I were to connect with a new girl on a dating app and I wanted to set up a date, I have that date being scheduled within 6 message exchanges of back and forth. That means you each send 1 line. That's what an exchange is. No more than 6 of those. Get to the point. She does not want a chat buddy, and you cannot afford to be relegated to that chat buddy situationship. We want a more romantic and intentional energy there as much as possible. When you do meet her on the date, make sure you're holding open doors. Make sure you can pull out her chair as long as it's comfortable. Okay, show her that you're trying to give her a great time and that you are intentional about being there presently, that you wanted to take her out. It's not just 2 people meeting. It is you giving her and showing her an experience. By all means, if she's going to order food, allow her to eat whatever she is comfortable eating. But do suggest that you share some items. Okay, again, we're trying to give her an adventurous experience here. A lot of women really love sharing items because they get to try more of the menu this way. You can maybe each pick 1 dish, but agree to share. It's always possible. Some women do not want to share. That's fine, but they will generally appreciate that you asked that. Okay, that you are trying to give them something. And do not be afraid to engage her when it comes to touch, as long as you escalate and build up to that comfortably. Again, make sure you're holding open doors, greet her with a hug. When it's comfortable, you can go ahead and do a light arm touch perhaps, but show her that you are there to connect, that it's not just 2 people having a chit chat and then parting ways as friends. There has to be a lead romantic energy there in some form. It doesn't have to be big, but it cannot look like friendship at the end of the date. I'll say it again. The number 1 biggest complaint that women are making about men these days, the modern realm of dating, is that men are too passive. They are no longer leading the date. They are no longer showing engagement or interest. They're kind of sitting back just hoping the women will make all the decisions for them, hoping that the women will engage them. I'm sorry, men, but you need to do your part, if not more than your part. You need to be the leader in this. You will have more fun. You will be a better date. She will appreciate it much more and have a better time with you. Thank you, everyone. Dating coach Eric Leonard here. Please subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.